Alright, so in this video we're going to set up the dark mode. So we're going to first add this button here uh, at the bottom right here. And when we're going to click on it, we're going to change. We're going to toggle dark mode. And we're also going to change the style of the button. So if I click, it's going to go like that. So with the sun and the background and the color are going to be inverted. And the idea is that technically, now if I refresh, I should keep in memory what is currently the dark mode, okay? And this button is using the dark mode itself to know which icon and which color it should display, okay? So if I refresh now, as you can see, we're still in dark mode, okay? And if I want to go back to the light mode, I just click, and technically if I refresh, it's still there, okay? And technically this information should be stored in the local storage, okay? So let's do that. Okay, so first we're going to start by creating the button. So we can maybe do that in app, and we're going to do that at the bottom of app. So we're going to create a div here that is going to be a class name fixed. This way the button will never move and will always be at the same position. Fixed, I'm going to set it at bottom 4 and right 4, like that. Then I'm going to create a button. So in this button we will have an icon, and actually two icons that we're going to display or not depending on the dark mode. So we're going to have BI sun and we'll have BI moon. And you can import these two from React icon /BI. So we have something like that. Okay, so let's just add a bit of styling first. So maybe we could create a color for everything that is going to be dark in the application, okay? We can create two colors actually. That's enough for the dark mode, I mean for this application. And so in theme, in extend, we're going to create two colors. So I'm going to call this color night. And inside we'll have 50 that will be 17E2C. And I forgot the 1 here, sorry. And we'll have the 500 that will be 0D1120. And I'm going to set the 500 as default. So I'm going to copy that in default. Okay. So now that we have these colors, what we can do is set by default the BG Night 50 as background color. Then we're going to add a bit of padding X for a bit of padding Y. Okay, we're going to make that rounded full. Okay, we're going to change the color of the icon, so we're just going to set a text white. Yes, okay. Now, we want the sun to be displayed only when we are in dark mode, and otherwise we want to display this one. So it means that by default this one is hidden. And when we go dark, we want it to be displayed. And this one, when we go dark, we want it to go hidden. Okay. Oh, oops, I wrote all of this on the div, but actually I should put everything on the button directly. So like that, I can keep everything that is about position, but otherwise everything is going to be in the button. Like that. Okay, that's better. All right. So now we have the style for the button, and technically if we go dark, they should toggle. Also, when we're going to go in dark mode, here we want the background to change to white, and we want the text, so in dark we want the text to go night, text night. Okay, so we cannot really see it right now, so when we click on the button we want to toggle the dark mode. So you remember this is about changing a class in the HTML tag. So to be allowed to do that, we have to go in the Tailwind config, and here below content we have to use dark mode and tell that we can change the dark mode using a class, like that. Now, when we're going to click on the button, we want to toggle this dark class. So we're going to create a function inside our app here that is going to be toggle dark mode. And it's just going to go at the window.document.document element, which refer to the HTML tag. And we're going to get the class list, all the classes, and we're just going to toggle the dark class. If it's not there, it's going to be there, and if it was there, it's going to be removed. Okay. And now I'm just going to send this function to execute on click. Now let's try. If I click, yes, it seems to be working. Okay, I'm going to zoom a little bit so you can really see. Okay, it's working. Maybe we could add a bit of shadow just to make sure we see the button when it's in light mode. So I'm just going to add a shadow LG. Yes, that's better. Okay, so it seems to be working. Technically here the dark mode is changing because this is working. Cool, now maybe we want that to persist when we refresh the page. Okay, if I refresh, as you can see, even if I set the dark mode on and refresh, I lost everything. So basically what we want is to store somewhere if we are in dark mode or not. So what we're going to do is when we toggle the dark mode, we're going to check if in the class list here dark is there. So we're just going to check if dark is there or dark is not there after we have toggled. Depending on that, we're going to write in the local storage, and we're going to write that now the is dark mode is going to be true. And actually it could be false if it's not there, so maybe we can just replace this if by something like that, since this is equal to true or false. Okay, so here after we have set the dark mode in the class, we just check, is it here? If it is, then it's going to return true, otherwise it's going to return false, and we're just going to write that in the local storage. Okay, so we can check if it's working. So here I have opened the local storage. Okay, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. So for now we have nothing in the local storage. If I click, as you can see, is dark mode is now set to true. And if I click again, it's false. So it can have three values. If I refresh everything, as you can see, by default the value is it doesn't exist, so nothing, or it can be true, or it can be false. So now when we are going to load the page the first time, we want to read that and then directly toggle or not the dark mode class. So we're going to create a function. So with React, you can use a function that is useEffect, and you have to write it like that, pass a small array here, and this is going to run only once when the application is going to start. So here we're just going to make a check. We're going to get if we are in dark mode or not. So is dark mode is going to read the local storage. So we're going to get the is dark mode value. And now just depending on that, if is dark mode is equal to true, then it means we are in dark mode, and then we want to add the class dark into the HTML. Otherwise, we don't add anything and nothing will change. So here I'm just going to go window dot document dot document element dot class list again, and here we're going to use the add, and we're going to use dark. Okay, we're going to add dark. So this is going to be like the initialization of the dark mode. So let's see. If I refresh and I'm going to clear the local storage, I'm going to refresh everything. So by default, we don't have anything. We're still in light mode. That's fine. Now, if I click here, we're moving to the dark mode. It's set in the local storage. And now if I refresh, as you can see, yes, it's reading the local storage and we keep this information. Perfect. Okay, so now the dark mode is completely set up and persistent. So now in the next video, we're going to update the entire application with some dark styling everywhere to make it dark proof. Okay, so let's do that in the next one.